What day is it today? Today is the 19th. Holy Jesus. The 19th. Okay. All right. And all right. Well, good morning, guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And yeah, there's been a lot of things going on recently with current events here in the United States. And the thing I wanted to talk to about today was going to be about pain. I know I've been making videos. However, I haven't had the chance to make another one. Again, I'll be honest, I've been procrastinating, and I thought it's about time now to make another video. So here I am. And again, the topic is discussing about pain and what we can learn through it, what we can overcome, how can we overcome it, and the biggest thing right now with the current events, with with law enforcement and civilians, with killings, innocent killings or unnecessary killings that have been happening just in a couple past months. Now there has been two murders that may or may have not. I'm gonna say that they shouldn't have occurred, but despite that, it did. And again, what's going on with that and how that's causing a change, through, again, pain, because there's a lot of suffering, I guess, amongst the communities, right? Regardless of what they are, whether it's minorities, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, everyone kind of has their own beliefs and ideals when it comes to law enforcement and laws that should be enforced or not violated. So again, let me move on to my situation. So I just had a relative, not a relative, I mean, not by blood, but we consider her a relative. Well, we call her our grandma. She is our grandma, and she just kind of sadly passed away just a couple weeks ago. So it's been kind of hard and hesitant to really just make a video and kind of talk about it, because it's a personal thing, right? Where someone close to you or you should have been, there's a lot of doubts there where I wish I could have been there more, but I think with this whole Corona thing, it kind of made things difficult. Her being almost 90, she was 88, and yeah, it hurts. Just those what ifs during like quarantine where, I remember being 21 or no, being 20, and I'm like, you know what, for my 21st birthday, what I would love to do would be to really spend time with them and grandpa and grandma, right? And spend time with them, maybe like, for my 21st birthday, get like a little drink or something, like a little wine, and maybe bring a board game or something, and just, talk and have fun, But, it didn't happen. Sadly, she passed away, and yeah, and I felt bad for like for a couple of weeks. Like the first day, I really felt bad. Like I felt really terrible about just her going away, and kind of my mind just kind of being in a spiral mood where I'm like, oh man, like I was just thinking a lot about her and things like that, and it just didn't feel right. You just couldn't believe it, because just a couple weeks I was calling her and she just didn't. I mean, she sounded okay, but just my mom went to visit them, and then she knew, because she works at a nursery, and she told me like she doesn't look like she's gonna be able to move on. I guess at a certain point when you see people like that from a nursery home and see how their body and their state of mind is, it changes from different stages, and she said like, yeah, she's not going to be able to recover. So yeah, and she was right. She only lasted a couple of weeks. So, but from what I've learned through that, right, the things is that, you know, she lived her life. She, you know, I think she lived to the best of it. I didn't know too much about her personal life. I mean, she was family to us. Um, you know, if she needed anything, we would do it. We would help in any way that we could. Um, but for her to go away so soon and during quarantine and everything, it kind of left a sour taste in our mouths. You know, it's just it is what it is, and yeah, we can't even like go to a funeral or anything like that because of it. We can't even pay our respects. I hope we can. I haven't seen her. My family hasn't seen her, so hopefully we can see her soon. But through that pain, I've kind of understood that, hey, you know, that's the, you know, life is, again, it's what you make of it, you know. So through that, I've kind of learned that, hey, you know, I should kind of start moving on and, you know, get my shit together, you know, start working, start building content, build clients. Cause I was at a point, I was really productive, and, you know, through work and through hardship, I think that kind of, through the years, because again, I was working like 2 years, like 7 days a week, nonstop grinding, and you know that kind of put some strain in my reading, which I really valued during high school. Like, man, I was reading like a fucking maniac during lunch and brunch, just reading pages and pages, informing myself about, you know, financial, you know, personal finance, and you know, things like that, financial statements. But I don't know. I think again, with work and, you know, putting that as a priority, because I really wanted to finish completing my studio. Like all of this took time, you know, the books and all that stuff. It cost me. You know, I think when it comes to the reality of life is that it does require some sort of effort, and yeah, there might be consequences, right? Again, that's life. You know, you're going to put some sort of toll on you, mentally, physically, spiritually, and I think I kind of did all three really. um, but her passing away, it really helped me understand, like, hey, you know, get out of that that you know, feel sorry for yourself mentality, where, you know, it doesn't do anyone any good really to just kind of be in that situation where you're miserable. And yeah, and if you are in pain, really just kind of go out and seek help, man. I know it's hard, and I've been trying to, and I like just these couple days, I was really going out, and I said, hey, let me just talk to anyone who I can in my social media. I was contacting like maybe 200 to 300 people on my Instagram, friends, relatives, even people I knew in high school or not, or through college. Um, I just said, hey, fuck it. Let me just call anyone and see how they're doing. Because I know I'm not the only one that is in the same situation, the same boat, right? Where, you know, we're you know, at home sometimes we might feel like we're in cages, where not to that extreme, but yeah, I mean, you're alone, and the only thing you really got to yourself to entertain yourself is really, it could be like your phone or your tablet or your console or your computer. And I think for me doing that, you know, it just, I don't feel any better. It's more of a way to kind of cope, I guess, with being at home, which doesn't feel good at times, right? Because I love going outside. I love going to the park or beach or whatever, and just seeing people. I love to talk to people. I think I've always kind of enjoyed, I don't know, seeing, yeah, at least some sort of human contact. You know, in any kind of way, seeing them, talking to them. It's just, I think again, we're social creatures, just like any other animal. Um, you know, just like cows or pigs or I don't know, dogs. They're all social. We're social. Um, so yeah, and yeah, and if you're going through that pain again, man, just like I go out there, talk to people, go through your Instagram. It might hurt at first when they don't call you back or they don't join your phone call, right, your video call. But as you move on, you start kind of you realizing, hey, it doesn't really matter if they'd answer you or not. Some of them will send me a message. Maybe they didn't see the video call I was trying to do. But to those few that did answer, I mean, I was very thankful. I talked to a couple of friends that they were telling me like, yeah, man, I'm in the same shoe where, you're at home and you don't know what to do, but he's like, keep, have hope, pray. And I gotta pray more. That's one of the biggest things is that one of my friends was like, you gotta pray, man. He's like in those times of desperate needs, he's like a prayer can really go a long way. And yeah, because I mean I've never been really the religious folk where I'm too devoted. I've always been observant with religion. Um, Not that I don't have faith in my religion, but I just you know I'll be to the point where I'll know it, but not to the point where I'll devote my entire life to it because I know there's more to it than just religion. That's just me. So, um, yeah. So have prayers, have hope, talk to friends. Um, yeah, because again, they're in the same situation. They might be in the same or even worse situation. So again, giving them a call, calling your relatives, man. I mean, I called my cousins and man, they were inviting me to come over, and I was like, man, I think I should come over. With protection, of course, the mask and everything, and if they're okay with it, because again, we're social creatures, and yeah, man. And again, if you don't have that kind of, maybe you don't want to do that. I think another way to deal with that kind of loneliness or pain or struggle would be to, I don't know, man, talk to a psychiatrist. Oh no, not psychiatrist. Talk to a therapist. Sorry about that. Talk to a therapist. And so I think one of the benefits included is psyche therapy, medicine, because I guess that some people will require meds to kind of cope with their state of mind. So, and I'm okay with that, and I do plan on maybe trying that out, talking to some sort of therapist, and I am or was planning on doing it. Um, but right now with this whole thing, the type of therapy that I might be looking for may or may not be available. So I'm gonna see how that will go. Um, so yeah, and another one would probably be just go outside just go outside, um, take a walk. I think that sometimes being at home can feel such a strain in your mind and body and soul. So it's always best to go outside, take a fresh hit of that sun, that beautiful sun that keeps us warm and everything alive. So yeah, take a walk. Um, I'm planning on going to to one of the events that's going on today at one of various locations, and just talk to people. I know that there's some sort of gathering, but again, it won't be just like hey, talking to people. It'll be more of a wearing protection, ensuring that we maintain safe distances, 6 feet apart or even 10 feet apart. I know some people are doing that, and just talk to people. Again, I think all of these things going on with even the protests going on with George Floyd and um, I forgot the other lady. Sorry about that. Not the other lady, the other person I forgot. Um, Again, it's made it's kind of built a community with all sorts of races. Whites, blacks, Hispanics. Um, Asians. It's kind of unified um, certain things that have been going on these past few years, or even through the years. Um, with police and you know the way that they're dealing with certain situations like George Floyd. Um, and even before then, where there was no camera, when there was no way to record and actually police the police, right? Uh, so yeah, and again, that's a sort of pain that has kind of been it's been like an open wound, that it's been an open wound, and now it's being more aware about, hey, this is not right, that these killings with innocent people um have been, they've been detained, and the fact that they've had their life taken away, and no sort of, because I mean, there's so many policies that do protect law enforcement, and I do understand that in a way they should be protected, but also they should not be protected in a way where they can just get away with um you know taking a life, just like that murder with George. um and despite having, you know background, criminal backgrounds, that's some of the people that they're saying, it's like, it does, should we, wasn't okay for him to be, for his life to be taken away despite him having criminal backgrounds. And again, I think that's where, we have laws, we have the law where um he has to go through, through judicial, no, he has to go through the court of law, proven guilty until innocent, all that sort of, where we have to go through, courts, and you know talk about whether his actions were guilty or not guilty, and the fact that a police officer, just again took him away without those sort of um, rules or laws or policies. I think there should be more strict policies on law enforcement, where they should be kind of checked, because just now police officers are being checked, and despite and again, some people have their own opinions, and that's why I'm going to go and today, and I really want to go talk to all sorts of people: African Americans, gays, lesbians, homosexuals, trans people, Hispanic people, all sorts of people, all sorts of sexes, preferences, ethnicities, because I honestly don't care what you are. I love that we all as human beings have an opinion, and I love hearing what people have to say about their opinion, what they want to enforce, because we all want some sort of resolution. And I know people have different agendas. They all have different, not that it's a bad thing, different agendas, right? Like my agenda right now is to talk about pain, right? And what's the outcome of it? For me, outcome has been, uh, you know, outcome for me is, hey, let me um, talk to people, let me take photos. I'm not monetizing off of it. I have links where people from the city, from the mayor, I've given the mayor my access to my photos so he can do whatever he wants with them. I want that message to be kind of spread around, where hey, I want unity, and I want the community to be more involved. um, you know a couple of weeks ago, there was Sunnyvale did have a protest, and a lot of people went, because again, that sort of pain where people don't want this to ever happen again, especially in the city of Sunnyvale. Some people did talk about their opinions about the Sunnyvale Police Department, and how they've had relatives, their lives taken away. But for me, oh, and okay, and the mayor as well went there, and the vice mayor actually went there. and they had their own opinions, and they kind of encouraged the people, the new generation, to be more involved, to be more observant with the community. Be involved in um, those community meetings that Sunnyvale has. And I even had a friend. I had a friend who was actually there, who she actually voiced her own opinion, and I saw it, and it was pretty cool. I saw one of very few people uh, be involved, and by what I mean by few people is that young generation, right? Very few of us have been, or actually there were some young people that were talking, but I feel like there hasn't been enough. When I saw the live stream, because it was, there, because of the corona, um, we can't be in some sort of uh, we can't be in person, so the only way that we can do it is via online. And seeing only about 60 people being that community, where the population is like around a couple hundred, I think it's 100,000 population here at Sunnyvale, and only seeing 16, that says a lot. Where, you know like, oh, we should be more involved. We should, if you're going to these protests, don't let it be in vain. you know so again, like with these protests, I took the photos, I gave to the mayor, and being with him, actually, because I was there and I got the chance to talk to him again. He's even told me, he's like, my only message is really to encourage the newer generation to be more active and more involved with the community, because we can't hear your voices unless you're willing to go and take the initiative to go to these meetings and saying your voice. And when and I'll be honest, I haven't been involved either. But these are the new. If and I'm not blaming anyone, because again, I was in the same shoe, right, where I didn't know what was going on. But again, now he's told me, he says, be more involved, and I'm trying my best to be more involved. I'm watching those videos on Sunnyvale's, Sunnyvale Community Center, or Sunnyvale meetings, I don't know, on their YouTube channel where they're live. I've seen them, and I'm gonna see if I can probably be included in some of those 1 minute to 2 minutes phone calls or video calls, where you get to say your opinion about certain plans or projects. Because again, it's interesting how the community is going on right now, with new developments going on, and new policies. Again, with anything, right? With police, with law enforcement, with presidential. I mean, again, that's what we need to be more involved in. So again, going back to the pain with George Floyd and how this has to do with anything, again, these protests should matter. And it's only one of a couple other steps that we need to be involved in. Be involved in your community. If you're listening to this podcast, I would encourage you to be involved in going to your community meetings and have a say or your own opinion or whatever you got to do to actually be involved. And if you can, just kind of do that, be more engaging in that sort of area where very few of us are really involved. Educate yourselves about that. With the killing, and it's shown me a lot of what's going on with the communities, with different people, with Democrats, with Republicans, with the minority, with the majority. It's shown me that it's shown me a lot about you know, what is going on today with America. And with America, I'm seeing a lot of, you know, a lot of pain with all races. Um, you know, the you know, when people are protesting, you know, the fact that people are sometimes being arrested by the police, you know, violating their rights, violating their, you know, their health, um, in order to, I don't know, I don't want to say something that might not be true or not, but I feel like it's separating the community even more with the police. And I've always had a good relationship with the police. I've been involved with the community. I've been trying my best to, um, you know, our daily bread, which is a community where, you know, we give out and hand out food to those in need. Um, you know, the community center, Sunnyvale's, where again, same as well. We give food, we give out resources for people. I haven't been involved right now because of this whole thing, and just kind of getting my shit together. So it's been, I haven't been as productive. Um, but and also being involved with programs with the Sunnyvale Police Department, which gave me the chance to meet officers and um, you know, the mayor and people that are in that are that revolve around the community, right? It's shown me that, again, if you are protesting, please be more involved in your community, be more active. And with these protests, I hope there's some sort of benefit that will come out of it. Um, with the pain, I know people are enforcing laws. There's even new acts that are uh, being put up with law enforcement, the Hands Up Act. I don't know how that's been going, but I remember last time I was watching, it was like 15 million out of 3 million, I think, that they wanted to do. And I think it's been going up. I'll check right now as soon as I take a quick break, because um, I'm about to run out of my 30 minutes. So I'll be right back, and we'll be right back in it. So hang on tight. Hello, thank you for watching the video. If you can give a like and a subscribe, that would really help out the channel. Thank you for, again, spending this time. I'm really thankful. I appreciate that you're hearing what I'm saying, and hopefully you could share it amongst your friends and family. Other than that, guys, I'm truly grateful, and it's been a blessing. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye. I'm checking it with you guys, so I don't. Whoa. Holy Jesus! Now it's gone up to 2,600,000, or almost. Okay, so it's 2,603,969. 72 people have signed it. 75, and okay, so the guy who started it, Travis Washington, started this petition to U.S. House of Representatives and 4 others. My name is Travis. Okay, let me just read this real quick, because I really love the fact that that people are actually trying to encourage this and see what their acts of this thing is, of this new act, right? That I hope will maybe go forward and sort of ensure that people won't live in fear of police enforcement. Not that, yeah. So let me just read it. So, okay. So my name is Travis Washington. I received an MA degree in higher education and administration from Southern Illinois University. Was it Carbondale in May 2019. I have been politically involved from registering people to vote to work in Springfield Capital as an Alexander Lane fellow, from January to May 2017. We know So many people of cultural minorities are in constant fear of leaving, yeah, of leaving their household. This fear in our lives far too often comes from individuals working in public safety who harm people. Every week, every single week, we hear about another unarmed, innocent, vulnerable human being shot by the police. This has increased the trauma and fear that has made people of color scared to leave their homes. We need legislation now that prohibits police officers from shooting unarmed citizens. If there isn't a weapon found after someone has been shot, therefore unarmed, by a police officer, then I propose that the officer should receive a mandatory 15-year prison sentence. We have seen over and over police officers get off, even with videotape footage of citizens having been shot by police officers. This is a new form of lynching. I am pleading with you to propose a bill that protects people who have every right to feel threatened. Oh, wait. I am pleading with you to propose a bill that protects people who have every right to feel threatened by law enforcement. We always say we need more training for those involved in public safety, and there are increasing policies and laws that mandate the police officers have body cameras on them. Those measures do not address the whole problem. Not when the individual officers who shoot unarmed victims aren't punished. Senator, we are in a crisis where relationships between people of color and police officers are deteriorating beyond the critical level. In order to build any sort of positive relationships again, we need laws to keep a balance in the lives of all the public. I might even suggest this as a title for this proposed legislation, the Hands Up Act. I will be emailing this to all of your colleagues in the U.S. Senate, members of Congress, state governors, Democracy Now, the Huffington Post. Sorry about that. My brain cell has been dying. Think Progress, and to other appropriate organizations across the country. Once this petition receives enough information, my goal to speak before the House of Representatives or United Nations during a committee hearing to bring attention to this policy. Wow, what a guy. Yeah, man. I mean, 15-year prison sentence. Yeah, I know that there's going to be. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. The 15-year prison sentence. I guess it. Oh no, okay. But this is about a shooting. So, and there hasn't been a weapon found. So I think, maybe if not more, really. I think it could be 15 to 15 and up, depending on the crime. Really, like if they're planning drugs, which there has been evidence of police officers actually planting drugs in civilians. Yeah, and the fact that this act will kind of prohibits people from getting shot, right, when they haven't been found with a weapon. And I hope that this policy can also be enforced where if you do have, because again, from what I read, it's only from people who haven't been found a weapon. But what happens if you're found, having your hands up just by yourself? Like what happens if you are detained by police, unlawfully, and they have a gun pointed at you? If you just have your hands up, by law they can't shoot you. I think that should be another sort of act where, or maybe in the act where, if you do have your hands up and you're being detained unlawfully or lawfully, that simply having your hands up will be some sort of act where you're not, where you shouldn't be tased or you shouldn't be, brought the dog or shot at. So, but again, this is just, I think this is one step of many where it's preventing innocent people from being attacked from police officers. And I see that. I see it. And to Travis Washington, Yeah, and this guy, Washington, dude. Thanks, man. I mean, the fact that you're active, and the fact that you got almost 2,600,000 people standing behind you, having a petition signed, it shows a lot that the community really wants some sort of change with law enforcement. And I don't see anything wrong with that, you know. Yeah, man. I mean, it's beautiful. I see this as a way that, you know, that the American individuals should do, right? Should encourage new laws, new acts that will, you know, protect the individual, really. So yeah, thanks, man. Um, yeah, because again, there's I know there's people don't really want to include that there has been history with, um, you know, the saying where America is. Some people say it's founded upon slaves. Some say it is. Some say it doesn't. I'm sorry about that. My throat from talking so much. Um, yeah, I mean, I maybe back then it was founded by slaves, but now that we've changed through time, through history, um, you know, it's changed definitely. You know, I don't think it's founded anymore, or that it's encouraged, or that it's motivated by slavery. Um, yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I don't think it is anymore. Not anymore. Not to the point. Maybe back then, but not now. You know, people can do whatever they want. They can go to work if they're willing to work. So times have changed. So yeah, guys, with pain again, this is this is one of many that will kind of be the the steps where, you know, newer policies, new guidelines that should be enforced to protect the American people again. And yeah, because again, seeing what's going on out there, I'm just hoping that again these protests don't go to vain. That, you know, the pain and suffering that people have been going uh, through their own lives, that there will be some sort of change that will be for the better. Um, I know I have, you know, with life, with people, you know, coming and going, with, you know, um, people protesting, you know, shows a lot, you know, that there's people suffering and that they want change, you know. Um, I definitely want change as well in all sort of areas where, you know, I wish people could be um, more happy, you know, more prosperous with whatever they want to do in life. And I hope that, again, those, my brothers and sisters, are doing okay, that they're, you know, that what they're doing, again, will not be in vain. So, yeah, I think so far with that, in regards to pain, and again, the outcome is to really just be more active. The protests are great, but once this sort of settles down, I hope that it doesn't ever be forgotten, yeah, I hope it doesn't be forgotten, and that, you know, that once this new act or these new policies will be enforced, that we just kind of, you know, go our own separate ways. I hope that the new generation will be more active, um, because again, I see a lot of protests. Uh, the one in Sunnyvale, the one I'm going to, I see a lot of young people, you know, and that's a good thing. You know, I love seeing young people being out there, and but I hope that they can be more informed with, um, you know, with policies, with ideals, with, you know, Democrats and Republicans, because again, every individual has their own agenda. So it's crazy that I was hearing a Democrat, one Democrat wanted Medicare for all, and they were questioned about, other policies about, what about immigration? What about shit? What about their own ideals and their own beliefs? And in reality, it's skewed more into the Republican side. No, it didn't skew to the Republican. Yeah, well, yeah, it did. But because they wanted this one thing, they had to kind of blend in with this side. So don't think just because a Democrat is a Democrat or has their, goes along with you means that they have their own beliefs. We as all individuals, I don't go with Democrats or Republicans. I have my own ideas. I like to be more of an individualist where, I know some policies are good. Some people were there at the protest and they wanted to abolish the police. And you could hear it when they were yelling. A lot of people were kind of like, they were hesitant about the idea of actually getting rid of all the police, and what that can actually result in, which would probably result in a fucking mess. Because again, we need police officers to police the community from people who may or may not cause, or that will cause, or can cause harm to individuals. So for me, that's my idea of what the police should be, to protect and serve. Right? It's even labeled on their fucking cars. Some of them have that, protect and serve. So I hope that's what they're doing, really. Yeah, and again, I hope everything sorts out soon. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I think that'll be all right now. I'm just kind of saying the same old, and not really getting too much of a point. I'm just kind of, again, repeating the same old crap. So I hope you guys are doing okay, and I wish you all the best. Please take care. Don't be active for the community, and love one another. Life's too short to live in hatred, guys. So, all right, take care. Bye-bye.